welcome back to the DreamHack Showdown Summer 2020. And dangerous game. Well, they lost out in the danger zone because unfortunately they lost that opening matchup against Able Esports White. But positively for Able Esports White, they're going to be facing Dignitas later today. So let's take a look at the bracket and just see where we're at in terms of our teams and our matches. Potter, just remind ourselves of Able Esports White. If people have just tuned in, do you think they're going to be able to challenge Dignitas later?
Yeah, oh man, that's a tough question. I'm gonna say no, just based off what I watched from Able, but I'm also curious to where Dig's level is. You know, I think that's gonna be an exciting match just because they're splitting their time between Valorant and CSGO right now. So I don't know exactly where their level is at, but it should be Dig walking away with that W.
And of course, we're about to go into our second quarterfinal between Silhouette and That's What She Said, the winner of which will go on to play tournament favourites CLG Red. The thing is, we don't really know too much about these rosters. There are a few notable players amongst them, but focusing on Silhouette first, featuring a long-term core of Actima and Naomi and Natty. This maybe could be a team that surprises us, Potter. Have you ever played any of these players before?
I have played these ladies. They're an exciting young group of ladies, and I'm glad that they are back together. As you mentioned, that core in Athena, Naomi, and Natty. We have Medici also back into the mix. I mean, I know that she was back and forth. We saw her competing with this squad, I believe, at ESG 2018. Then she took a step back. Now she's back again. So I gotta say, they've been together. They've been around the block. I mean, as you mentioned, Frankie, 2017, that's many years that a core can kind of establish what their favorites are, what their play style is going to be, what their identity is going to be coming into this. Are they aggressive? And when they're aggressive, can they capitalize off of each other? Little small gimmicky things like this, that sort of synergy that comes after playing with each other for so long. So I'm excited to see Silhouette just because I like to see Medici kind of showing up.
Bilga, are you also a Medici fan, or is she a newer player for you?
To be honest, everyone are new for me, except for some players from both teams. But as I know, Silhouette is a team. Just like Potter said, they've been together. The core of them was together for a long time. And just only a month ago, Lunar Cats and Medici joined the team. So they're fairly new lineup. I don't think they had a lot of time to prepare, but I talked with Luna Cat and she told me they practiced as much as they could. They practiced 5 days a week. When talking about That's What She Said, it's just a mix. They played a few games before. Miss Harvey's playing with them. I talked with her. She was so glad. She said, I'm enjoying playing with the girls. It raises all this, nostalgic feelings and relaxing a lot as well. So it's going to be interesting game of this for sure.
Well, continuing on the theme of That's What She Said, Potter, I know you played with Miss Harvey for a long time. She's definitely a very positive force for good and for change in esports in general. What is she like as a teammate?
Listen, there's only one other woman that I know that's more obsessed and in love with Counter-Strike than I am, and that's Miss Harvey, right? So she's been in the scene longer than I have. She has immense passion for the game, and not just for the game, but for competing. So it's really good to see her still hanging on by a thread with these youngins coming through, and those youngins are Blender, are Pinecone. I mean, these are two names that, again, I'm not too familiar with on this squad. I did speak with Steph a little bit yesterday. She mentioned that Blender is like this 19-year-old prospect, right? I mean, she's a young player. She doesn't have a lot of experience under her belt, but from what Steph said, she could see a lot of that 16-year-old mechanics, those quick reflexes, the headshot ability. When you have that sort of immense firepower under your belt, there's a lot of interesting creative things that you can do. So right now for Pinecone, I think this is her debut in a female tournament as far as being an in-game leader goes. So I'm also excited to see what she can bring to the table. She seems to have a lot of confidence under her belt. When I read her bio that Steph sent me, it says under her that she feels that the female seed have been sleeping on her all these years, that she's been kind of behind the scenes making a name for herself. So I'm excited to see what she brings to this pug.
Oh my god, I love the sound of her already. I think I'm going to be obsessed with her.
And Pinecone is also leading a male team as well, and they even call her team mom as well. So it means something.
So the boys team call her team mum.
Yeah.
So basically,
she's their coach and she's their team mom.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so you don't mess with Pinecone. Looking at what Viola's found out for us as well, because Viola spoke to Team Mum Pinecone, and she wouldn't give up anything about the map pool, so we're going to have to speculate about that one. But she did say that, of course, Steph is really expecting she's going to be AWPing, Sirius is a support, and Lurker, and then Minnie and Blender are going to pair up. I hope I can say this. Pair up and entry shit. So I think we should be looking out for them as a duo to be reckoned with. Minnie, she's actually been on the scene for a long time. She's one of our older players. She's 31, so she's obviously been working her thing in the scene. Is she someone you've had the chance to play with or against, Potter?
Not much to be honest with you. But she's always been in around the block and competing and kind of making it pretty far in these qualifier tournaments throughout the year. So definitely has that sort of experience under her belt. And right off the bat here, we see Train coming out once again.
Ah, that's so confident. I like her.
Just right off the bat, yeah.
What is it with the ladies' teams all playing Train? It seems to be, it's a common theme in Europe and NA as well. When we're looking at the maps they're playing in ESEA, Train is a very, very common map for all of these teams. And I'm really surprised by that because these teams don't often have full-time support, so they're doing other jobs. Like even Emily from Dignitas is a full-time nurse, and yet they're able to work out strats on such a complicated map, Vilga. Maybe it's less of a surprise for you.
No, it is. It really is a complicated map. You need to, playing on the T side, you need to establish like the control through the whole map. Like you need to have defaults, you need to have strats, you need to have good reactions as well. Like we saw, for example, with Able Esports, they would get the kills, but then they would just like let it split off because they wouldn't just be patient enough to control this ground, So this actually is a hard map to play, and I'm very surprised to see a mix to pick Train, and they will obviously start on the T side. So let's see what they can show us.
Well, Twitch chat, let us know what you're thinking. Hashtag SIL for Silhouette or hashtag said for That's What She Said. And of course, I need to get our analyst predictions now. Vilga, what do you think is going to happen on that server?
I think a team is gonna win against the mix. So I say Silhouette will win 2-0.
Potter, I feel like you're gonna go in the other way, just judging by your face.
I am. I do think that Vilga's right. Silhouette, they've been around longer. They're a team, right? But I'm going to say That's What She Said is going to come away with this W. I'm excited to see what Pinecone brings. I'm excited to see my girl Steph back on that AWP, sniping in that server. I just think that, this is the closest matchup for me. Even when I was going through the list of teams, I thought that this match was as 50-50 as they come.
Well, I'm really excited to see this matchup because, yes, it could go either way, but we are going to see some of the brightest players on the NA scene take to the server and fight with each other, basically. There's no other way of putting it, quite honest, as crude as that was. So we're going to go to, in fact, no, before we go to the break, we're going to find out the Twitch chat results. I'm going to say That's What She Said, just for production, if you'd like my prediction. And well, very, very close. So 45-55 split. So that's
they just like you more Potter than me. That's it.
No, never. No, Vilga, no.
Kidding.
No, I love that. We're gonna have to split Twitch chat between Europe and NA. If you're European, you go for Vilga. We're gonna take that short break that I promised, and when we come back, Blair and Harry are going to be here to get us into the second series of the day.
We will stand our ground.
enough, we could have it all. Gonna take a chance, we can never fall. Yeah, I feel so strong, unstoppable. Just hold on tight, gotta let it roll. Don't stop this feeling, let's take it too far. Live for these moments, let's reach for the stars. A million to one. Invincible, invincible. So wild and so young. 'Cause you and me. A million to one. Invincible, invincible. So wild and so young. 'Cause we are invincible. Yeah, we are invincible. Oh, never get enough, we could have it all. Gonna take a chance, you can never fall. Feel so strong, unstoppable. Just hold on tight, gotta let it roll. Don't stop this feeling, let's take it too far. Live for these moments, let's reach for the stars. A million to one. Invincible, invincible. So wild and so young. 'Cause you and me. A million to one. Invincible, invincible. So wild and so young. 'Cause we are invincible. Yeah, we are invincible. Oh, we are invincible. Invincible, invincible. Invincible, invincible. A million to one. So wild and so young. A million to one.
We will stand our ground.
Oh my goodness, I am joined by one of my favorite people in the whole world right now. Blair, man, welcome. How are you doing? It's so nice to see you. We got Team Silhouette and we got That's What She Said. Now, that's going to be a fun name to cast. I don't know how you're feeling about that one. But for you personally, Blair, how are you doing? How have you been in these trying times?
It's been good. It's been great. A lot of Counter-Strike. I was watching the previous game. A lot of interesting plays, to say the least. So I'm looking forward to this matchup. I don't know how I'm going to go with the team names, though. I'm going to leave that to you, Harry. I mean, you're the guy used to all of this. But that was a pretty cool AR thing. I saw that in the EU segment, and it's really cool. It almost feels like we are at the event itself.
Yeah, no, man, it's cool. Like they've got a few different setups as well up their sleeve, man. It doesn't just stop, with the panning shots of the stadium. There's some crafty stuff
Chickens?
that DreamHack have. Yeah, man. We got chickens, we got breakdancing, we got everything. But right now, we've got Train, the familiar stomping ground, a map that I've seen a hell of a lot while we've been covering DreamHack Showdown. It really does seem like one of the go-to, more tactical maps for these teams. And I can't wait to just get into the swing of things here. We got That's What She Said taking on Team Silhouette.
And I remember Vilga mentioning in the while doing predictions, where she's like, you know what, a team should be winning out more often than just a mix. But that's what she said. They picked Train, right? And if they pick Train, they know what they're doing here. You need to have the protocols right. So I'm expecting to see a full 3-mapper, Harry. And it's going to be serious. Opening things up, Athena's going to fall. A fast pick towards outer, and no one's falling yet. No utility really being deployed as Natty was replied by Bomb hasn't planted, with a nice double peek coming in. And pretty much back and forth for the moment. 2v3 though. And Naomi and Lunar. Lunar Cats, Lunar. I'm going to go with Lunar. And it's going to be all down to Lunar herself. 1v2, very doable. Doesn't have Kit with her, does she? Knows exactly what Blender is. Beautiful shot. We'll be picking up the Kit, and now it's a 1v1.
Oh, but we got Pinecone on the other side, and she's looking. She's made a bit of noise, but Luna, off the bomb. Now that's been discovered. She knows she's in full control of this round. Pinecone going up on the ladder.
Okay.
My voice cracked multiple times. I was pretty surprised by that one. Pinecone going to get it logged on in. That is probably my favorite name thus far in the server. I'm a big Pinecone fan, and I never knew I was.
Like pine cones. There are a few interesting names. Medici being one. I think that's how you pronounce it. I was very confused. And was that did she land? Was that the apex for a jump? I don't know, but that's the Glock, Harry. Sometimes it give it, sometimes it take it away. In this instance, it gave, and it's going to be the pistol round going the way, if that's what she said. And a great start as well. And it's much more cleaner. We have the smokes coming out. pretty standard stuff. A couple of Mac 10s, the AK, a couple of Galils, and Silhouette opting to go for the full eco. No surprises there. Should be able to afford something into round number 3 for this one. That should be pretty easy farming for the T's. Pinecone, okay. Not getting flanked. They're still looking for more, tapping over the USP, and somehow she stays alive with a Mac 10 and 16 HP.
Yeah, this should be a nice clean round, and indeed it is. Miss Harvey getting stuck in. I love seeing Miss Harvey in the server. You know, everyone's a big fan of that. She really has like become one of the I say become, like she always has been, I think, one of the faces of the female CS scene. So I just love seeing it here. That's what she said. And then like this mix of players all around her. It's another eco, 4-team Silhouette, right? They got a nice little nade stack that's going to go in over here towards main, which is a bit of a shame because that's what she said. Don't have anyone in this position, so those nades aren't going to find anything. It does get you like a bit of information, right? Because now you clear main, you know, like, all right, no one's here. But what does that mean? Well, the B site is probably dead to rights at this point in time. As they work their way in quickly, Luna goes, and that should be this B site pretty much locked in, and with it, the round.
I kind of like what both the teams did here. Like Silhouette, they knew they went for the full, well, not full eco. They had a few upgraded pistols and the nades, and instead of opting to go for a full-fledged buy, they can have a double op setup if they want to. They'll have a full set of utility as well, just going for that eco. And for that's what she said. Not wasting any time, fast hit towards inner, and they would have been expecting an early buy from Silhouette there. Instead, they just went for the fast hit, and of course a little bit of luck going their way. But here we go, the buy coming in for Silhouette in round number 4. An AWP out for Medici, I think that's how you pronounce the name. You have a bunch of M4s, a lot of utility, and a lot of kits as well. However, for that's what she said, they're going to be upgrading a few of the weapons as well. Miss Harvey with the AWP. Always love seeing that, Harry. Always love seeing that.
Yeah, and a very slow approach in this round, right? They've really pumped the brakes. They are just spreading out, holding for this aggression from the CTs. Luna's playing this close ramp angle, and the moment she gets the information, she backs away, drops that Molotov, and then that's going to stop any attempt at the B play here from That's What She Said. Medici keeps getting flashed off the angle. Not very forgiving down here towards Ivy side. And already that player's actually started to move away. So right now, That's What She Said, they're grouped up heavily above Pop Dog. There are 2 players down in Pop, 4-team Silhouette. It's going to be Athena playing the anti-flash. And as they go down, Athena swings in, but she does meet her maker. It's Minnie on the other side, delivering a double and leaving this with a pretty hefty advantage in favor of That's What She Said over on this T side.
That's so unfortunate. Like, you have the 2 players dropping down, 2 CDs waiting outside, and not a single kill. They do a lot of damage, though. And one well-timed, well-placed nade. We're in a good spray here. Good work on Al Lunar. Oh, that's just unfortunate timing. The smoke dissipating at the worst time possible, and Miss Harvey just plucking her head off her shoulders. 2v5, and yeah, I don't see them really going for this. They've gone for the call for the save, and Natty and Medici will hold on to her weapons, but I won't lie. I think Potter had something in mind when she said that she's expecting That's What She Said to take this series. And right now, they're looking good, Harry. T's out of train, 4-0 up. And now with Silhouette going for maybe a few upgraded pistols, just the 2 saved rifles, they're in a very good spot to make it 5-0. And if I'm the kind of the underdog team picking the train, this is the start I'm looking for.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, if they're able to even take away one of these rifles at the very, very end, that's a little bit heartbreaking. 4-team Silhouette. Medici. Oh, the timing on that, the unscoped, but Pinecone does drop one. And so, yeah, one of those M4s gets taken away. Now, that's fairly important, right? Because if that M4 stayed in play, you actually could have had a pretty decent force buy in this round with those 2 saving players dropping M4s over. And then there was a player with 4,500. So you would have had 5 rifles in this round, but that's no longer the case anymore. That's a bit of a heartbreaking way to have your buy stripped away from you. And now they are relegated down to these pistols. Medici does have the AWP, and that's not something to be underestimated as she's opened this round up. And immediately, Silhouette are in this 5-on-4.
Yeah, if they can try and retrieve that AWP, don't know about just giving that one up. And I think they're gonna get it. We're gonna have Athena just walking on up. Now 2 ops, Harry. We have the pistols as well. We have a little bit of utility. This is definitely doable. This is definitely winnable for Silhouette, as we do have the remaining members slowly heading towards the inner bomb side. We have Sirius over towards Ivy, just trying to maybe just posture towards this area, trying to maybe sell a fake. Incendiary getting tossed in the direction of Medici and Athena. Perfect timing, perfect placement. Finds one, looking for the second kill. The second shot will not find its mark, but now it's a 3v5. They might be able to get the bomb down here. But Athena with an op looking to do more, and more she will. Finds another kill. Sirius will fall, just coming out through the smoke, and it's all on Minio. In a 1v4, nothing she can do. That was a huge round coming with Silhouette. All of the fact that Medici was able to get the opening pick, the AWP getting picked up by Athena, 2 kills for her, and of course, just things just falling apart for that's what she said. They're not gonna be too worried about it. They get the bomb down, they have money in the bank. But if this game gets a little close, Harry, if it gets a little close, if it goes like, 14-13, 13-12, they're gonna be a little annoyed about losing that round.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, that's one that should never be allowed to just slip by. But you're bang on, right? That opening pick going their way, the orb getting retrieved, and then Athena going on this little tear inside of the B site. I remember, man, like one of my first ever LAN events was the Intel Challenge back in, I want to say 2017, maybe it was 2016, one or the other. And Athena was still on this Silhouette squad back then, so she's been here a long while. And I love seeing that, right? Just someone sticking around, helping the team out. So she's got the experience in this crew. Now, opening things up, Blender just goes straight down through Pop Dog and really does live up to her name. Medici fully flashed, but still putting up a kill from atop the train, and yet to deal with this AWP. It was their undoing in the round prior, but this time they've dealt with it. And now Athena and Luna desperately trying to close the gap in this round. They do find one, but that is it. Luna, second kill. And now just Blender left to deal with. That bomb dropped over here towards Old Hell, and Luna's going to get them all. The AWP might be out of her grasp here as she's trying to find it. And yeah, it's a little too far away. But she does get out of the round with an AK. A second on the board for Team Silhouette. And a reinvestment coming on through. Plenty of money for the CTs to reinvest into that double AWP setup if they would like. But they are just going to go for the one.
And still Medici. I like what she was doing with the AWP there. Good repositioning, of course. Unfortunately, no one towards Ivy, and that Ivy player, Lunar, coming a little bit too late, but she makes up for it. Nice little clutch there to seal the deal. Oh, Medici, that should have been a free kill for her, but with shot, meaning it's going to be even for now. No early advantage for Silhouette. And what's worrying for me for Silhouette CD side is how Pop Dog control just seems to be going the way of that's what she said almost every single time. Not doing anything too fancy, no pop flashes, no incendiaries, just double drop down. And somehow it's either Mini, it's either Blender just getting a double kill, which is ludicrous if you think about it.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that's another opener found. Here's the thing though, right? That's what she said. They've been good at taking these advantages. You know, like a lot of these rounds, they've been playing into it in like 5-on-4s, 5-on-3s. And then still, like it's in the late round. It's on the back of those like mid-round decisions as the plays coming in that things kind of fall apart. And there's just been a few holes that have in kind of the offense that have been exploited by Silhouette. So this doesn't necessarily mean the end of the world just yet, especially not if Luna can kind of live up to the performances she's been giving us, but she's only good for one down here in the B site. Medici back on this AWP. She has been instrumental in so many of these rounds for Team Silhouette. That AWP is going to force these players out of the bomb site, but they're not peeking into her. And just as I say it, Pinecone will. Blender helps out, and it's only Natty left. She's looking for anything, but nothing's being given over, at least not for free. They're actually hunting her down. They're trying to deny her holding on to this M4. And she's trapped now. She needs to win this fight, and she will. The 1v2 not going to present itself. All she's looking to do at this point in time is save. That's what she said. They're going to find a fifth, but at what cost? They lose a lot of players here hunting this M4 down. Natty gets all the kills. She doesn't win the round, but that's still going to set up Silhouette in a pretty nice spot. She holds on to the AWP. That means that can get dropped over to Medici, who's the only player who's low on money in this round. There's a full buy coming through for Silhouette, and that's what she said. They've got to reinvest on absolutely everyone.
Yeah, but when you're leading 5-2 up, I don't think that's what she said's going to be too worried about that. I wasn't necessarily a big fan of her just sticking around and going for the kills. I mean, she got all the kills, great job, 4K, taking away the money, but if she'd got taken down there, they wouldn't have been able to save any rifle. And yeah, they still would have been able to get a buy, but it could have been a little rough there. But here we go. AWB saved, like you said, Harry, and Medici makes it work this time around. Cirrus going to be dropped early on. And I think Silver's now aware of how, like, that's what she said, likes to take early control of brown halls, and that's a clue that they have to work with for the remainder of this half. Still early days though. And one thing we realized about Train, at least in the, I wouldn't necessarily say the current meta, but for quite a while, it's no longer the supremely CD-sided map that we knew it was. And once again, here we go. That's what you said. They're going for the double drop down, no flashes, nothing, and they've done this so many times. This time around, Silhouette just opting to give it up. And why not? You have the man advantage. There's no need to over-aggress, no need to overextend, no need to thin out your defenses. A minute left on the clock. That's what you said. They seem to be a little unsure right now. They have control of pot, meaning that this outer bomb site is a viable option. But still, they're poking and prodding, trying to get some opening kill. But still, they're doing a very good job not showing anyone.
Here comes the push. Now he gets spotted up on top of the bomb train, but she's got support from Naomi over in heaven. Not really going to prove to be too valuable as she gets dropped, and it's still the advantage. Athena's going to spot a player up on top of blue, and that's Miss Harvey getting shut down. Blender all alone, and so that round there gets picked apart by Silhouette, who are still in the runnings to turn this game around, right? Like, you know, it's not the case. Like in that last series, Train got off to a really weird start with the CT money just getting torn away in the opening 6 rounds. The fact that Silhouette have been able to build up, like, it's not really any bank yet, but they've got an eco coming, right? And you're hoping that this can be the round where they kind of establish a bit of money, they get that buffer, and they start to set themselves up for this first half to really start to lean their way. And with Naomi going aggressive in pop, but just mowing everybody down, that is a very good way to keep this round nice and clean.
Not taking a single point of damage as well. Nice mop up there. And I like that. I feel like Silhouette are maybe initially, again, you have to bear in mind that the first 3 rounds were a pistol round and 2 following anti-ecos, or rather eco rounds for them. But these buy rounds, they have been pretty aggressive. Sure, pop control hasn't been the best, but they like going for these early picks. They like going for, you know, going and taking some of these fights. And there you have it, a flawless round coming out from Silhouette, not taking a single point of damage against his pistol. So that's a good way to bounce back. It was 5-0, now it's 4-5. And we do have another buy coming out here from That's What She Said. However, it won't be great, Harry, and I wouldn't be surprised if it just went for a few upgraded pistols, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Tech 9's coming out, P250's a few grenades, and so for Silhouette, like you said, money hadn't really been built up, well, but they won that round very cleanly. If they're able to win this one as well without losing too many players, they're going to have quite a big, hefty war chest to work with, but that's a painful dink. That is nuts from Mini. Just wrecks Lunar Cat. And that's the B-bombs are taken over. They picked up an AK as well. They have some weapons to work with. In the flames are getting burnt alive. The AK is gonna shine. And I have no idea how they won this round. No idea, Harry.
Yeah, that aggression, right? Just getting into the front line, denying the rotates. It's so good. Now, Medici, she's done a lot of damage, but she's not ready for this wrap from Minio. And so 4 kills for her there. Really the star of that round to put a 6th on the board for That's What She Said. That is a great, like, I can't even think of the word, like a great execution of how to go about those ecos into the B site, right? They don't hunker down, they don't play for that bomb plant, you know, they take the aggressive lie, they cut down the rotations, because, you know, if that came down to like a retake in a 4-on-5 with That's What She Said trying to play around the bomb, there's so much utility on the side of Silhouette to make that hold uncomfortable that I think it would have very easily fallen apart. They just decide to take the gunfights, they win them all, and they make it look really good while they do it. So now 6-4, reinvestments back in for Silhouette, but it's really not like picture perfect. They do have kits, they do have utility, they've still got everything they would need in this round, but they're not going to in the next if this one slips away from them.
They're down to just 3 smokes, little utilities still to work with. And look at the hell, they're all falling one by one. Natty still doing great work. 2 kills for her, and she's got to do more, Harry, but she's burning alive. Spotted a 3rd player as well. There's so much information conveyed, but that's a shot Medici should have hit. And now it's a 1v1, 2 HP on Natty. Minio, the hero of the previous round. She's got the AWP, she's got the bomb, she knows exactly where Natty is, and she's just going to go for the plant towards inner. And Natty, she's going to realize at one point. But Mini, she has a lot of time to work with here, Dinko. But the health, both of them so very low. That AWP, it's going to be a little bit of overkill. And Natty in 2 HP, what is she going to do? They'll be coming in from behind from Pop. She doesn't have a kit, Harry. That could be a problem. She has a smoke, though. On 2 HP, she just can't stick it. Just one bullet from the Glock. That's going to be enough.
Yeah, and I love this bomb plant as well, right? It's planted wide. So for Natty, there's just so many places that this last T player in Minio could be. Now, the AWP, not going to be ideal to get this spam, but the P250 should be. And all it takes, as you say, is 1 stray bullet. So, yeah, sticking the defuse there, a little bit optimistic, was just hoping that the kind of luck went her way. And obviously, as it so often feels like it doesn't. It doesn't. So 7 of 4, that's what she said. Leading the charge, and attack pause called on in spite of them picking that round up. They don't want to let these pistols get away with too much damage. I'm always a big fan of like attack pause on the back of a victory. You know, you want to try and keep the good times rolling. You know, this is quite a pivotal point in this first half of play, and so they've called this in. They want to set themselves up with a nice clean round so they don't have to fall back onto these pistols. Also, it gives like Silhouette a bit of time to just kind of relish in the fact that that round slips away from them.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how back and forth it's been, considering it's just been 11 rounds. And we were talking about how Silhouette, I think I kind of jinxed them when I said this is a round they should be winning, not losing too many players, but they lose that round. And then, of course, whatever money they had in the war chest just getting expended in the previous one. Although, yes, it did come down to 1v1. Natty doing her best on the outer bomb side, but not quite able to do enough. Like you said, a little bit of attack timeout. Talking things through. And I do like this from Silhouette. You know, it's an eco round, don't have much to lose. We're just going to be aggressing, but good read from that's what she said. Blender, I like what she's doing here as well. Not really committing to the fight, waiting for back to arrive. Pinecone's there. I'm going to be falling on back. However, for Silhouette, the fact that it pushed towards Brown Halls, found no one there. They know Pop Dog's not in control with, that's what she said. And that means they can have kind of a stack going on here towards Outer. Albeit, they do have just the pistols, but one thing we've known so far, Harry, is this pistol can be very, very dangerous. Cirrus, she gets a trade, but she needs to stay alive here against this P250. She's doing a pretty good job so far.
Yeah, she has support from Miss Harvey, but it's on this AWP, and understandably, Miss Harvey doesn't want to go too aggressive here, right? So they're very much relying on the pistols coming to them for this little duo down in Ivy to work out, and they kind of realize now that this might not be a risk worth taking. I'll back out from Ivy's side, look to rejoin Blender and Pinecone over towards main. There's still this information from Medici down towards Pop. She hasn't heard any footsteps yet, but she will do in just a moment's time as these rotations are coming in. And this means that Silhouette, they're going to be ahead of the curve when it comes to moving bodies into this B bomb site. You can see everyone migrating towards this side of the map, but they're not inside of this site. And playing this range game with the pistols is not where you want to find yourself. Bomb plant going to come on in. Gap attempting to be closed. Athena's retrieved an AK. Don't know where she's got it from, but she's been able to get one. And now Luna coming in with another. Pinecoat shutting down Medici, but they tap the bomb. And this is going to force the T's to swing on in. Thankfully, they've regained control. And so for Luna, this one is looking pretty said and done. 1v2. Continuing to tap it, continuing to try and force these peaks. But every single time she responds, they know that they've got her off the bomb. And so, yeah, they'll shut that one down. It gets a little bit close. It gets a little bit uncomfortable thanks to that information from Medici down in Pop Dog. But it doesn't transpire to a victory for Silhouette.
Yeah, and you got to give credit if that's what she said. Like, they were just thundering down towards the inner bomb side, but they're pretty confident. Like you said, it got a little scary. But 8-4 up, 3 rounds remaining to be played here. TSAT train, they're going to be feeling pretty comfortable. Some people might even say 8 rounds is pretty much almost the win condition met, and that should have been a kill for Minio, but unfortunately doesn't quite land a shot. And Medici now with the M4 Doesn't have money for the AWP at first. And Athena, the Minio with the AWP knows exactly where she is. Are they expecting a second CT inside the pop? That is the question, as Medici will be forced on back. Too many T's pushing up in her direction. Cirrus down 16 HP as well, so despite having a man advantage, just barely clinging on. And for the CTs, they still have some utility. They still haven't used it up yet. And here comes Natty now pushing out, but she needs to get at least one kill. That's a position compromise. Now it's all on Lunar Cats. Might get caught on reloading. It's now all on her. 1v3. Bomb getting planted right in front of her. She's going to find a second kill as well. Who knows where the third player is, but a flashbang's going to save Pinecone for now. The Lunar Cats, he needs a quad kill. And a 1v3 clutch to pull this one off, but Pinecone, what a shot. And again, Harry, coming down to the 1v1s, coming down to these clutch moments, but that's what she said. They seem to have that extra little X factor that's able to get them these rounds.
It's such a shame that that flank from Natty in through Pop Dog doesn't find more, right? Because that there was a flash that even set her up, but it's just one of those cases where like there's so many bodies on the screen, you miss the opening few shots, and then it all just feels like everything turns against you. It's a very, very fast A play here from That's What She Said. And they are getting stuck right into this A bomb site. They're closing the distance. They're hounding down these players. And even though kills are coming through for Team Silhouette, it should be nothing more than kind of the Grim Constellation prize. As everybody falls, 10 on the board for That's What She Said. And a team ace as well. Reinvestment for Silhouette at the end of the first half of play. Gonna have the AWP back in the hands of Medici. Natty's got herself an M4 to work with. But they're still running the risk of this being a very, very one-sided first half of play.
Yeah, and I gotta say, for That's What She Said, these anti-ecos have looked so very convincing, right? All the way from the second, third round, even the previous one, have a very good read on their opponent's economy, and even the tendencies when it comes to forced buys are going for the full eco. And Silhouette right now, even to get to 5 rounds, which seems like an absolute necessity if they would want to kind of fancy the chances in the second half, doesn't look super likely. They have the AWP once more in the hands of Medici. Waiting for something, and that's what she said. They haven't gone for the pop control this time around. Again, Brown Halls with them, and that's been something that's always worked out in their favor, right? They go for this early Brown Halls control. Yeah, they might lose a player here or there, but the amount of information they have, they don't have to be worried about maybe an opponent just kind of like, you know, slowly sneaking in, trying to get a flank on. This Ivy hit is going to be coming in. Flashes, double flashes, nicely spaced. DC, unable to quite land a shot. Flick shot is good though. Finds Sirius, looking for more, looking to reaggress, and the flick shot won't land. And Pinecone, a little bit of a messy battle, but she's going to win that. And quickly shot that Thea, looking for more. But Naomi and Natty shuts it down. And all of a sudden, it's all in the hands of Blended. 28 HP, 1v2, bomb nowhere in the vicinity. It's a no man's land. And she's got all to do here.
Yeah, you don't envy Blender's position. She's going to look for this kill onto Natty, but she's very low on HP, and she's made noise on the approach, baits the shot from the first, but isn't able to find anything. So it's 5 at the end of the first half of play for Team Silhouette. 10 for That's What She Said, as that final round gets stripped away from them. And right now they've got a lead, but can Team Silhouette bounce back in their T half? You're going to have to join us after a quick break to find out. So don't go anywhere. well, we got a bit of a mixed bag, a bit of a hot pot of a game on our hands. 10-5 at the end of the first half of play, and that's what she said in the lead right now. Team Silhouette. They don't want to be a shadow of their former selves. They want to try and get back into the swing of things here, moving into the pistol. And so Athena donning the utility. She's going to be trying to set the team up with a smoke and 2 flashes. This screams B play.
This does scream B play, and they do have the smoke and a couple of flashes. Smoke going to be used early on. Minio not opting to stick on around, but she's going to be hounded real quickly, and they're going to spot her out. Land straight on top of her, but she finds Medici, and in the distance, the duel's actually going to wave the tees. Look at how low Cirrus is. Look at how low Miss Harvey is as well. And Naomi pushed up a nice tap. Clotheslines Miss Harvey. And a 4v3. Cirrus down to 3 points of health. Bomb down. This is looking very rough. But that's what she said.
Yeah, it's not ideal. They're going to try and close the distance, but Naomi holding close. Blender will respond with 1, and Naomi still a nuisance, and that's all she has to be. She's doing even more than that. If she picks up everyone at the very, very end, it's 4 in the round for Naomi, and 6 on the board for Silhouette. CT side, you know, like it's never ideal when you lose this pistol, because I feel like it straight away gets you in this situation where you can just be really like just hounded down, you know, and if they keep you on the back foot in terms of the money, Train especially, where things like incendiaries are so important to deny these fast A plays or stop B rushes, AWPs as well being so important, it really can just hamstring you out of the gate if you lose this pistol round and then maybe lose that follow-up rifle. So we're gonna have to wait and see the kind of success rate of that 4. That's what she said, but it's a nice building block here for Team Silhouette.
Oh, it is. I completely agree with you. Like, the scores can be so misleading. You're like, oh, they're like 11-4 up, but you keep just hemorrhaging the economy of CTs and can kind of fall apart. I wasn't a big fan. I'm not a big fan of the full 5 Macton investment. Would love to see at least 1 or 2 rifles coming in there, but because, you know, you're going to be building the money, and I know you want to go for the, you know, you're going to go for the rifle upgrades later on, but it just would be better if you just have a couple of players, you know, looking to push in with the Mactons and go on a fact-finding mission, get a kills there while the other players hold onto their rifles. But that's okay. That's just me hypothesizing things, Harry. Is that the right word? Is that how I pronounce it? I don't even know. I need more coffee in my system, but a little bit of damage being dealt here by Pinecone, but I don't think she's gonna survive. And Naomi's gonna get the kill. She gets taken down as well. Pretty expensive round for Silhouette, but it was a forced buy, but that's what she said. And now it's gonna be the full eco. Maybe a couple of pistols coming up, maybe a couple of nades, but that should be it.
Yeah, we got that nade stack. Let's see. I mean, I feel like I never see these nade stacks work. I say, well, like, never's the wrong word, but, you know, like, literally, I would say 1 in 100. Let's see. It's not going to happen this time. My hopes, my dreams, what do they even mean? What's the point in believing? As nothing happens on the back of those nades, and now it's just going to be this slow B play. Now, one of the upsides, I said this, you know, when we saw the nade stack attempted in the first half from Silhouette, is it at least gets you the information that no one is in main, and so they've already leaned very heavily over towards B. However, it's only the vanilla pistols for the most part, so I'm not expecting much. Minio's going to get away with 1 and almost a follow-up, but almost is not the word you were looking for if you wanted to win this round, and it's only Pinecone left.
Yeah, not much you can do from this position. Maybe take away a rifle if Naomi looks to head towards Brownholz, which is very unlikely. They have controlled CD spawn, well, near CD spawn. They know there's no one in that general direction, so we should be seeing all the 4 players, all the 4 remaining Ts from Silhouette grouping up together. I'm going to save their weapons. DC still sticking around. Not sure why Naomi's still there. She should be falling on back. Don't really have much of help to work with, but making sure the cheeky ninja's coming out from Pinecone. She doesn't have a kit anyway, and it's going to be round number 8 for Silhouette. And the real test is going to be coming up now, Harry. And again, for a viewer just tuning in, probably wondering, oh, it's Train. It's probably the map being picked by Silhouette, being the more established team. I guess that's the word I would be looking for. But no, that's what she said. And they had a great T-side. 10 rounds in T-side of Train. Nothing to really scoff at. But now the buy coming in, the real test. And of course, Miss Harvey in the AWP. She has been a little quiet on the T-side. But now, let's see what she's got, Harry. Still 2 Mactons with Silhouette. I'm expecting a little bit of a faster affair coming out from them.
Oh, Miss Harvey. Okay. She can't even see, and yet she strips one away. Now he gets removed out of the game. And this AWP in the hand of Miss Harvey is a terrifying sight indeed. You know what she can do with it, and she often does exactly that with it. She takes one down out of the gate, and now we have this 4-on-5. So a bit of a slowdown from Silhouette as they hope someone from That's What She Said gives something over, but that's probably not going to happen, right? These CTs are just hunkering down now in these bomb sites, very, very content with this advantage that they've picked up early on. You've even got Miss Harvey playing this connector position. She can rotate round quickly. And this is kind of backed up by the fact that Sirius is aggressive down towards the bottom of T ramp outside of the B bomb site. So she gets that information. She's held on to all of her utility. She can drop a Molotov to deny a rush the moment she sees anything. Oh, well, that's not exactly what you wanted. Like, misses the smoke a bit, but it has brought the rotation around from Miss Harvey. And so B is no longer this like easy site that they were hoping it was going to be.
Yeah, and also that Miss Smoke forcing her to use the incendiary early on for Sirius. And it's going to be the B play anyway, just coming in here. Mag 10 leading the charge along with Athena. Athena's got the bomb. I'm not a big fan of her running up there. That is risky, but she is going to wrap on her round, gets the kill on the Sirius, no one nearby, and now she's kind of trapped. And that's the bomb dropped, Harry. That was not ideal. 2v4, 15 seconds on the clock. Lunar needs to find something, and it's now all on Naomi. She's been great so far, but this might be a little bit too much to ask for. And you can see Miss Harvey waiting patiently. Triple kill for her with the AWP, and that was a little messy from Silhouette.
Yeah, it's one of those moments, right, that kind of makes you like sit there and just as it's happening, you know. And you see why it was just so unfortunate and so important that that bomb gets dropped there. It essentially wins the round for That's What She Said, because suddenly it's no longer just like an execute into B. It's like a rescue mission almost to try and get that bomb out from under the noses of That's What She Said. So here's the investment back in for Silhouette, and an A play gives them some great results out of the gate. They find two. Miss Harvey is trapped in hell, but a bit of movement on the ladder from Miss Harvey, and she's picked that kill up. I do not know how she's managed it, but she has. She's still alive. She's still a threat, and she's still looking to have her say in this round, even with that bomb getting planted by Team Silhouette.
Oh, the timing could be terrible here. Switching back to the AWP spot. How to play wise, no one looking there. Athena, completely unaware of where Miss Harvey could be coming in from, and that could be a big mistake. Medici's there in a very good position, though. This should catch Miss Harvey off guard. Barrel spotted up. Medici waiting patiently, but it's all, I guess, an unintentional ruse. Blender's going to peek around the corner. Natty's position has been compromised, and suddenly it's all in. Lunar goes for the wild spray through the smoke, finds one, but now Sirius just holding the line, going in for the knife. What is she doing? And Miss Harvey, there's no time remaining. She gets the kill, but she will lose her life as well. That's going to be the round from Silhouette. That was messy again, but in the end, round will be won by Silhouette. Messy or not, they get the round win. And more importantly, Harry, they have kind of not really broken the economy for That's What She Said, but it's made a bye look very, very rough indeed.
Yeah, that was a sad ending to a really good retake from That's What She Said, right? Like, you try and go for the knife and the smoke, and I don't want to say like I like it, but I understand why the knife comes out. You know, they're hiding in a smoke. It's like when someone's on the bomb. It's pretty reliable to try and knife them, but you just didn't need to hunt that kill, and that's the biggest problem there. In this round, it's only the pistols, but they've been able to trade it and keep this even. Sirius coming in on a pop flank. Now she's on the other side of Pop Dog, and she finds results from it. So a 3-on-2, despite this only being pistols for That's What She Said. And now an AK retrieve on Sirius as well. This bomb going back in through old bomb, wrapping into CT, but Miss Harvey, her ears, she hears the rotation. She knows that they're coming her way. She shuts down the first, and with it, she's dropped the bomb. Luna Cat's 1v3. She's been good in these clutch situations. She's been coming in clutch a hell of a lot of the time for Team Silhouette, but this is one bridge too far. She goes down. AK's picked up. That was pistols for That's What She Said, and with it, they break the money of Silhouette. There's so much money for the CTs, and that's just a really, really rough round to have slip by the wayside if you're Team Silhouette.
especially when you know your opponents are on an eco and there's no one really spotting for the pop dog flank. That's messy, right? It was Cirrus there. She gets a kill with the deagle, and since there's no one nearby to trade, she's able to pick up the AK-47, and with that, it just forced to go for the play. I think they still had time to work with, but just thundering down towards CD spawn, Miss Harvey played out to perfection. She goes for the kill, and the player just jumping out around the corner. Very, very ugly round, if you ask me, for Silhouette. That should have been a round they should have won, and not just won, but kept most of the players alive instead. Like you said, they have money, quite a bit of money for that's what she said. They have 3 guns retrieved from that round, 3 players staying alive there, and of course, 3 AK-47s can clearly see a lot of utility, everything to work with. And for Silhouette, well, not looking good. Just the pistols. Might see a smoke, maybe a flash. That's about it. Money, not that great. And I like the tac timer getting called, but that's what she said. You know, not getting too carried away. We're like, all right, listen, we won that round. Should have won it, but we won it. And now let's close it out. You know, just take it step by step. It's going to be an anti-eco round coming up here. Make it 13. Just close it out. Don't get ahead of yourselves. And I like that. I like teams utilizing their tactical timeouts even when they are kind of winning. And I think that's something which you don't see even, you know, many of the teams have cost it in the past, Harry. But here we go. Hold on to that thought. Fast play coming into its inner, just to one flash. And they just might be walking to Miss Harvey's AK-47. It's going to be easy picking to Miss Harvey. Just tapping away. 1, 2... Lunar Cat's helping Miss Harvey out with a TK as well, and they might get the bomb down. Yes, she will, and that is mission accomplished for Silhouette. Just getting the bomb down, even though they don't get a single kill.
Yeah, that's exactly what they went into that round hoping for, and it's what they get. And, you know, they don't do much outside of it, but that's all they were looking for, and so that's going to make all the difference here. Now you have a chance at, like, well, I was going to say a glass cannon AWP even, but it would be on someone who we don't often see donning that AWP instead of in the hands of Medici. So maybe that's no longer the case, and it might just be these AKs across the board. Bit of a shame there to see the TK come in. But, you know, I think at that point, it's like all you've done is strip a kill away from Miss Harvey as opposed to, like, ruin the round for the rest of the team. And immediately out of the gate, Silhouette are leaning very, very heavily back towards this B site again. And this time, that's what she said. They've gone aggressive over towards Pop and Ivy. It's all going to be like a matter of who gets the information first. And if Pinecone's able to calm that there's no one in this position, then these rotations can come in back towards B. But that's a lot of damage found early on onto Cirrus. She's going to throw this smoke down to try and delay the push. It does go out, but they're already through it. Flash comes in, and Cirrus lots of damage, but only 1 kill to her name. She still set her team up nicely to try and move in and keep this in their advantage. And that's exactly what Miss Harvey does. Minio's good for 1 more. It's Natty and Luna, 2 on 3 with the bomb down.
And the bad thing with Silhouette is that's what you said. They know exactly where the 2 players are, but Luna is going to fall. It's all on Natty. 1v2. Miss Harvey down 22 HP. She knows exactly where Miss Harvey is, and she's going to smartly reposition herself. Thing is she going to catch at Pinecone? Is Pinecone going to be aware of it? She looks to be the worst time possible, and Pinecone, she doesn't really miss those. It's going to be round number 14 for that's what she said. And for Silhouette, yeah, they're getting the bomb down, Harry. They're getting the kills, but it's just not quite enough. 14-9. And that's what she said, just 2 rounds away from taking the win on their map pick. And this is looking way more competitive than what we saw in the first game.
Yeah, 100%, right? And that's kind of what we wanted to see. I felt a little bit like disappointed by the first game, just in the sense that I was hoping for something a little bit longer, a little bit more competitive, and we might get that now. Silhouette, just these Deegs, a couple of sets of armor and a bit of utility that hasn't been thrown out just yet. They've rushed into this site and they overwhelm Blender. Miss Harvey and Minio keep this in the advantage. Oh, that's what she said, albeit briefly. Pinecone really could be the defining factor in this round, holding on deep in Ivy. She removes Athena from the equation, and so now we sit in this 3-on-2. Miss Harvey almost spotting a player around this smoke, and she will. Luna, we've said, she's been a good clutch player for Team Silhouette, but a 1v3 here, this is not easy. And so she'll get shut out at the first hurdle. That's what she said. They're going to reach map point now. Miss Harvey. Little nuzzle, you know, like little, it's sweet, all friends. And now we have a 15th on the board for that's what she said.
Yeah, looking pretty happy in the server, Harry. I'm quite sure they're looking pretty happy outside the server as well right now. And everyone's stepping up for That's What She Said. You have Cirrus and 20 kills, Miss Harvey in 22, Minnie on 21. And bear in mind, Miss Harvey was, I think, 8 or 9 kills going to the second half. And she just woken up on the CT side. And yeah, map point coming in for That's What She Said. 1 round. And if Silhouette, well, they need to get 6 in a row to take it to overtime. Gonna be going for these smokes, but the timing, oh no, that's terrible for Medici. And Blender waiting outside of smoke. 1, not able to get a second, but it's all on the Lunar Cat. She's left alone, Harry. It's a roll against her. She's got to get 4 kills. The bomb nowhere in the vicinity, and that's going to be the map going away, if That's What She Said. And that is also a brilliant, brilliant logo. I don't know who he is exactly, but I like it.
Yeah, man. It looks like it was drawn in paint or something, and I'm a big fan of that. You know, I like the aesthetic.
Listen, if anyone draw that in paint, I'm going to be very impressed.
Yeah, but it's like a good paint drawing, you know? It's not like one of these rough ones. It's not something I would come up with. That's someone with a little bit of talent sprinkled on there. Yeah, no, that was a really good game from That's What She Said. I like that we have players like Miss Harvey, right, who always seem present at these kind of things, just stepping up, you know, with our squad all-rounder, everyone showing up and playing a really good hand, everyone looked like they were on the same page. And so, you know, in spite of the doubts of the fact, you know, they're coming into this as like a bit of a mix, I feel like that's been mitigated for me somewhat, because it did look like everyone knew what they were doing, they were all on the same page, and everything seemed very well rehearsed.
Yeah, especially for a mixed team coming and playing Train like that, that is fantastic, considering map number 2 is going to be Inferno, and if you go to map number 3, that's going to be Mirage. Easier maps to play, especially when you're kind of like a newer mixed team, so to speak. So if I'm Silhouette, I'm feeling a little worried at the moment.
Yeah, man, no, 100%. Can Silhouette bounce back, though? They've still got their map pick up their sleeve. As you said, it's going to be Inferno. You're going to have to join us for that second map of play in just a moment, because we're going to throw this one over to a break, and then me and Blair will be back on the mic.